Hey everybody, how are y'all doing today? It's really exciting times we're living in right now with everything happening with the sun, all these solar flares, X level solar flares. We just recently had the eclipses and all the different planetary alignments and all the different events that have been going on all over the world. And then we have our own situations that we have in our own lives at home, and anything that you might be facing personally. It can be tough. And, there is no one-size-fits-all solution for all of the situations that we face. We all have our own struggles, but we also have our own unique gifts that we can draw on in order to not just survive this life that we live, but also to thrive and feel fulfilled in this life that we live. And that is something that I find absolutely intriguing, especially as a numerologist. I'm very interested in frequencies, especially even more so frequencies. I guess I wanted you to know that I had a destination addiction, and a lot of us are programmed to have a destination addiction. And you set your goals, you set goals for yourself, and if the goals are pretty big goals, it could take 2 years, 3, 5 years, 10 years down the road to reach that destination, to reach that goal. And when you first start out towards that goal, it's so exciting. You get that degree, you take those classes, you buy your equipment, you practice, you study up, you get really good at it, and but you really have to keep reminding yourself about what exactly is it for? Why am I doing what I'm doing? You have to keep reminding yourself about why you're doing what you're doing when you set these goals like that, these destinations that you're trying to reach. And then, sometimes you get sidetracked, sometimes you get discouraged. The environment changes, your market changes, the economy changes, and you have to adjust. You have to adjust your strategy. You might have to pick a new market, or possibly even adjust your product or your service. So it feels like you're always chasing something, and that was something that I also experienced, and it did make me feel some burnout. But you do, when you stick to it, you do eventually reach your goals, in whatever form, it finishes in. You do reach it eventually in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. But if you think about it, if that's how we get to a point of fulfillment, how many opportunities are we gonna have to find this fulfillment in our lives? When you think about it that way, life is pretty short. And we really want to feel fulfillment all day, every day. You're going to have some down moments, but how do you find fulfillment all day, every day? So I've learned over the past 2.5 years that I want to focus on the frequency and the frequency of that destination. How do you focus on the frequency and holding on to that frequency? It keeps you feeling fulfilled, and you accomplish your goals all day, every day, instead of having to wait 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road to accomplish your goals. You can wake up every day and state an objective, an achievable objective for that day. And you can find that motivation, and that way it's easy to tap into that frequency of the ultimate destination if you have a goal when you wake up every day. I'm finding that a sense of fulfillment and a sense of accomplishment and happiness and a sense of purpose is more about matching a frequency and holding that frequency. And it's easy to hold that frequency if you just every day find something to be grateful for. It's all about gratitude, and that's what's been going through my mind. It's all about gratitude. When you always find something to be grateful for, what do you have? Your relationships, your pets, you have a place to stay, you have food, you have friends, you have your health, you have your music, you have your art, and your ministry. There's so many things to be grateful for. And just finding one of those things that to be grateful for, that it gives you reasons to wake up every day. It gives you the motivation to keep living. You don't stay alive because you're afraid of dying. You stay alive. You stay alive because you love living. What is it that makes you wake up every day? What is it that makes you feel fulfilled? Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. And it might be a little bit tough at first to think about the things that you actually do possess. Your gifts, your health, your friends, your family, your possessions, all of those things. But once you start thinking about it one by one, what you're grateful for, you find more and more to be grateful for. And that's what taps you into the frequency of abundance. And abundance is not just about material things. Abundance is also about spiritual wealth, spiritual prosperity, emotional prosperity, emotional health. So the way I'm living now, that I decided that I wanted to live 2.5 years ago, was I wanted to focus on being happy with my life. I wanted to focus on being in the frequency of happiness and love and abundance. Whatever you do, you want to do it because you love it, because you love people. And before you can love anyone or anything else, you really need to love yourself. And that can be really hard when life has been difficult in the past. But just look at yourself. Look at you. You know, you really are a miracle. All the things that you didn't think that you'd make it through in the past. Look at you, you're still here. All those things that you didn't think you'd survive, and you're still here. You know, it might have been tough growing up for you. The religion you came out of, the family that you were in, the school you went to, the neighborhood you lived in, all the expectations that people set for you. Maybe those expectations didn't match what your true, didn't match what you wanted to do in your life. Think about what you wanted to do with your life when you were a child. What did you gravitate towards? What were the things you gravitated towards when you were a child? You know, in your free time, or whenever you didn't have chores to do or homework to do. What was the thing that you always gravitated towards? For myself, you know, I've always loved to cook. I would always spend my allowance money on pans and baking pans and baking pans and utensils and cooking equipment. I also had a wood burning pen, and I would get pieces of wood and use my wood burner, and I would do art on my wood burning pen. I used to like to draw things like cars and horses and houses, and read architecture magazines and fashion magazines too. Eventually I did get into garment making too, you know, just art. So I gravitated towards art. Art was something that I lived for. Culinary arts and performing arts, music, playing the piano. Those are the things that I just, every moment, that's what I wanted to be doing. I didn't want to do anything else. So when you're trying to find that frequency to tap into, you know, when you get older, it's as easy as thinking about what you gravitated towards when you were a child. You know, so you can, if you gravitated towards fixing things, you know, and you liked cars, you know, you could fix cars, fix people's cars, you know, or do car restorations, antique restorations, and modifications and things like that, especially these days. You know, cars are so new cars are really expensive, and there's a big demand for repairing used vehicles. So for somebody that's interested in that, you know, you could think about that. For me, it was cooking and art. So, and also helping people. So I've decided that I'm focusing on my writing and my art, and using my love for art and writing and about what makes people tick. You know, that's the gift God gave me. And so when I think about those things, it makes me happy. It makes me excited to wake up. It makes me excited to pick up my notebook and my pen and write my ideas down in cursive. There's something about writing my ideas down, writing those ideas down. I love writing my ideas down. And that motivates me. It gets me into the frequency. So I guess what I'm saying is, if it's all about matching frequency, first of all, it's like, how do you tune into that frequency, the frequency of love and abundance? You know, Matthew 6:33 says, keep on seeking first the kingdom and its righteousness, and all these other things will be added to you. So, seeking first the kingdom, growing up, it was always a little bit confusing to me. What is the kingdom? What is the kingdom? It finally dawned on me that you can substitute the word purpose anywhere you see kingdom. Your unique purpose that you are here for, that you're here to bring to the world your way. Keep on seeking first God's purpose for you and his righteousness, and all these other things, all the other things that you worry about, the needs that you worry about being met, the things that you want to be able to buy but you don't know if you're going to be able to afford it. You know, God promised us that if we seek first the kingdom, or live the purpose that he put us here for, as long as we fulfill our purpose here, that he would add all those other things to you. And I've been living that way, and life has been so much happier. Life has been so much more fulfilled. And I'm excited for the rest of my life. I finally know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm already there. This is what I want to be. This is what I am, what I want to be when I grow up already. Anything else that happens to me, anything else I receive, is icing on the cake. So I hope that I encouraged you. You know, the solar flares, you'll think about these solar flares, and every time you look at the sun, you know, just think about the frequencies of light: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Each one of those frequencies of light also corresponds to one of the solfeggio tones. And each one of those frequencies provides something special to add to your life. So that's a homework assignment for you. Look up solfeggio frequencies. Look up what they mean. Go onto YouTube and check out some of the solfeggio tones. Try them out. See how it makes you feel. But most of all, you know, instead of focusing on some goal, something that you want to accomplish, somewhere you want to be something you want to be 5 years, 10 years down the road. You know, just focus on how you felt when you were a child, whatever it was when you were a child that made you happy. Focus on that and go from there. I promise you'll figure out what you want to do. I promise you'll figure out how you can take that love you had when you were a child and apply it to something that can make the world better just because you're here. So I hope that encouraged you. I have a hard time with video. Sometimes I feel anxious when I'm videoing myself, but this is something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm really going to try to do it more often. So now I feel fulfilled that I took the time to get this camera out and tell you that. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care of yourself during these solar flares. You know, make sure you drink a lot of water. Make sure you get enough rest. I hope these light flares provide you a lot of inspiration the way they've been inspiring me. And I'll talk to you next time.